Matamu
And welcome back to the Matamu podcast. As we have been doing so far, we're just going to vibes and inshallah this thing. And we are here with Phyllis, just Phyllis, of PJ Relics. Hi, Phyllis.
Hi, Romak.
I want you to tell them a bit about PJ Relics first before we even go anywhere.
So PJ Relics is my business. I sell comic and anime memorabilia. Pop culture and stuff. So anything you want, keychains, t-shirts, hoodies, and all that.
All that's
I
good
got
stuff.
You. All that good stuff. I got you.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave a link to PJ Relics on the description below so that you can also go and have a look. She has just the coolest everything that you need. And now we're here. We're here and we want to talk about food. And I brought Phyllis here because she is a child of two worlds. You grew up in basically two cultures, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And I found it so interesting from the stories that I've heard of second culture folks, people who grew up with two cultures, especially around their food experiences growing up. So let's start with, what's your earliest food memory from both sides, from your dad's side and from your mom's side?
I think the easiest would be from my mom's side. We gone to Taita when I was a kid, like maybe 5 or something. Then my grandma made pilau and vitumbua, like just random things, viazi karai, nini. Then all of them were in this bigger senior, and all the cousins, and we are a lot. My mom, they're like 15 kids, so the cousins are a lot. The cousins were like maybe 40, 50.
You guys and 40 people same was up. Watu wengi sana.
Yeah, so all the cousins were given like these 2 bigger seniors, and we were seated down. Kila mtu anakula na mkono, and I'm like, yo, this is so weird and different. But the food was so yummy, and we ate, and then kila mtu akalala tu chini. One of my cousins goes like, oh my God, nimeshiba, nimechoka, I can't stand. And I always remember that that's the earliest from my mom's side.
Okay.
From my dad's has to be a funeral that we went to, and then like after the funeral there's lunch and people are being served, and I remember walking around and I'm being given this plate of sijui cabbage na waru na carrot random na mchele meshikana sijui ka ugali, niko tu yo
aka pilau njeri.
Hey, is this food cooked? Bado wako tumemaliza. I was just looking at it, and then my mom goes like, no, you have to be polite, you eat. So we eat.
Yeah. And then finish what's on your plate.
Yeah, you finish on your plate. So you could see all of us struggling. Me and my bros were just looking at it. We are basically forcing ourselves because my mom is giving, those eyes, those parents' eyes. Yeah, like, hey, kukosa kumaliza chakula. So we eat, and then that's when I'm like, yo, these cultures are different. That's the first time I was like, okay, kuna shida. Kuna tofauti kubwa, clearly.
It's a big difference. And how did that play out when you were growing up? Was it always like a set menu at home, or was it randomly for today mom feels like eating this, today dad feels like eating this?
I think in terms of how we cooked in the house, it was mainly what mom wants to cook.
Of course.
So it was
Mother's reign supreme.
Amen.
Hala.
So it was mainly would cook like more of the tighter side of the food, like pilaus, chapatis, karai, nini. And then on dad's end, maybe we'd have once in a while kunjanjahe ingepikwa so that he's happy, or gideri or amukimo thrown once in a while in there. But mainly we basically lived on maybe the tighter side of the diet.
Okay. I'm going to leave a link to the episode I did with Sherry on jahe so that you can understand how good jahe can be. It gets a lot of flack. I'm getting side eyes here. It gets a lot of flack, but jahe is special. Jahe is very special. I'm getting double side eyes here. Oh my God. So now coming into now, you've grown up, you've moved out of home. It's you now deciding what you want to eat. How did those influences then shape what you chose?
I think I would go with, because we barely had more of the cute side of food. I basically cook and eat as a taita. Like that's the main thing I do. Like my name is Shiro, the second name is Shiro, but like I barely go down and go just like, oh my God, I've missed Jim Kimo, I've missed Njahi. It can't even cross my mind. Doesn't even cross my mind. So I basically eat more on the taita side. That's what I've perfected. That's what I'm amazing at.
Yes.
I always tell people my pilau is the best, and I believe it is.
It is. I speak from a point of experience. It is
exactly.
the best.
So I think even like what I'd buy, even when I'd go to the supermarket and stuff, I'd buy just mainly more coastal dishes as opposed to the Kikuyu side. Yeah.
But is there a dish that you ate probably on your dad's side, your grandma made it for you, and like that, it's that one dish that when you're really craving something that is different from what you're used to?
Oh, my dad can make the best mukimo. My dad himself, because there's a time my mom traveled like to EC for a while, so my dad was the one who's making like dinner and stuff when we were very young. My dad's mukimo is the best I've eaten. I can't even remember what he put in it. It's just brilliant. So once in a while I crave mukimo. Like we'd be having choma with people and be like, oh, me, I want it with mukimo. Just because of that, I'd be like, yo. And it's always that taste I'm looking for. My dad is in his 60s now. I can't convince him to cook me mukimo.
But you can get the recipe.
I can ask him what he does. Yeah, because even if mom makes it, it's still not as good as dad's. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Of course. Do you make your own?
I have not made mukimo since I moved out of home. This is 10 years plus. I buy it. I have not cooked mukimo in like 10 years.
That's actually fascinating because a lot of us whatever you left home eating is more or less the same thing that you'll be eating. So for that you've not even touched it ever since.
Nah, I feel like mukimo for me has the same PTSD with chapo. You know, like chapo has
the chapati slander.
I have PTSD with chapati because of every Wednesday and Saturday we'd have to make chapati. In our house, my dad has diabetes, so we have to make atta, like the atta flour.
The really, really, really
the brown one. Yeah, exactly. So we'd have to make a white one for everyone else and the brown one for my dad.
Yes.
So every Wednesday after school, you'd find yourself in the kitchen for like 3-4 hours. Kutengeneza chapati. This is 2 full packets, my friend. That's a lot of chapatis.
That's a lot.
Saturday yako yote from 3 all the way till 9 uko tu jikoni. Hadi watu wanaendelea kukula, uko bado tu jikoni hapo na machapati. So it's just PTSD for me. Even just the smell of chapos, I'm just like no.
Ain't doing it.
Not for me. Doing it. And the same thing with mukimo, because dad would be like, the days he doesn't want to make it or mom is not there, so it'd be like, yo, you have to do mukimo. Niko tu, oh my God, first boil mahindi, washa jiko, boil. Niende kwa shamba.
It's quite a laborious process.
It is. Niende kwa shamba nitafute nini za malenge, sijui boil hizo pia, niko hapo nimengangana kuifanyia kwa smooth. So PTSD.
But wasn't it then worth the task? Or
no, it was always worth the task.
Yes.
But I'd find myself enjoying it more the next day as opposed to the day that I cooked it. Yeah.
Of course. With most foods, it's tastier because the flavors have had time to develop.
Exactly.
Okay, that's interesting. So now, coming in, you've moved, you're on your own. What was that one food? You've had a really long day and you just want to eat something that will give you comfort. What was that one food? When you moved, let's start with then. When you moved, what was that one food for you?
Strangely enough, it's from neither of the cultures.
Interesting.
Because my comfort food, you're like, oh my God, it was a stressful day. I just want this will make me happy is fish.
Okay.
But this must go back to being born in Kisumu or something. Because that's so that would be it. Like I'm stressed or anything, I'm just like, some good fried tilapia right now would slap. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's so fascinating. And so how would you make it? You just go buy from...
I buy from Mama Fish. I'd either eat it dry because I really like the dry fry, or then I'd make it with coconut sauce. Samaki wa kupaka.
Ooh. That one, if it's done well.
If it's done well. Oof. And in my opinion, it has to be done with actual coconut.
Yes.
And not these powders and stuff. Like I feel like the taste is usually so distinct if it's made with proper actual coconut.
I agree fully. 110%. Yeah. Okay, so now as the years go on, is it still just fish or have you added anything else up or in the middle?
I'd go with waru. I think that's where my Kikuyu comes in. Waru sneaked itself in without me realizing. I wasn't such a big like chips or anything fun, but these days I find myself like, there's no waru in the house. Waru has become a thing. I use it in so many things. I bake it, I put it in stew, everywhere. There's just always waru. Yeah.
Are you one of those people who starts to peel the potatoes as you figure out what you're going to eat?
I think I'm already sure what I'm going to cook by the time. Yeah. Like it's usually like a craving starts and I'm like, oh, I need warus for this. Then I buy the warus, then I already know what I'm going to cook with it. Yeah.
That's interesting. No, there's that running joke that Kikuyus, when they're starting to figure out what they want to eat,
they just like, let's to waru. As we are peeling, we will know what we are cooking. Inaweza turn ikwe mukimo, inaweza turn ikwe stew.
It could be anything.
We shall know.
Except vodka.
How I wish.
So, what were you eating during the pandemic? What was the food that kept you going during those days?
So pandemic happened after I tried like keto diet or something. For the first few months of it, I was really trying to stick to it. I was doing mara salads, mara broccoli, my bacon, manini. Hey, and then I was just like, yo, budget pia. Bacon kila siku na kazi hapa hivi zinaenda tricky. So I think I switched to mainly rice, coconut rice, pilau, It was just either rice, potatoes, rice and stew, pilau, potatoes, all variations of potatoes. Got into a weird time that I used to watch like random recipes from this TZ chick and just try everything she was doing. Today we're just like, and I'd be with my cousin Zilla, so we'd just be watching and like, this is what we're trying today. So we'd cook very random shit and eat it, and yeah, that's basically how we got through pandemic.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Did you discover accidentally any really good mixtures that are either everybody else will call them an abomination, but you really love them? This is a safe space.
I'm not sure if it's a safe space.
This is a safe space. Moyo, don't look at her. Moyo, don't look at her.
I think for me is you know how you have leftover food? So like I'd have like leftover rice, leftover stew, leftover warus, and zilikuwa fried or something. Then I'd be like, all this would go really well with some eggs. So I'd like fry onions, fry eggs, throw everything in there. And then it's just food, like make sure mlango imefungwa juu na chini, no one will catch me eating this. Then I just eat by myself, and I'm so happy. And then when like my cousin will come and knock on the door, I'm just like, "Oh, did you cook today?" I'm like,
No. Yeah. Today you're staying hungry.
Yeah. What do you want to eat? Then I'll be forced to eat twice.
I like it. No. It's important to be proud of your creations.
Yeah. This one, I'll see. It'll take me a while. I'm still not sure if other people would vibe with it the way I vibe with it.
I like to hear that. Okay, that was actually all I had for the podcast. But this is the point where you can speak a bit more about PJ Relics. Where did you start PJ Relics? I'm curious.
So I've grown up live in comics, anime, and everything fantasy. So it usually is like, oh my god, I'd really want to have like a Harry Potter wand or something, and you could never find anywhere to buy them in Kenya. And then I had a friend who used to travel, so anytime they'd come back to the country, they'd be me like keychains, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I wonder if it will make sense, like if there are people like me out there looking for such products. So I was just like, okay, let's try this. So tafuta links China, found some people to import stuff from different places, brought it in, and then all of a sudden like everyone is like, yo, I've been wanting this, I've been craving this. Remember, there was a whole damn market I didn't know. I started it mainly because it's stuff I'd want to buy.
Of course.
Yeah. That was basically it. And then all of a sudden I was introduced to this big ass community that I didn't know walikuwa underground mahali. Wanajificha tu.
As they usually are.
Yeah, and it's brilliant.
Okay, so yeah, again, I will leave links to PJ Relics in the description below. So please make sure you click through, go and get something for your inner child.
I have something I've remembered. When I was at travel, so there's a day we were seated down with my cute friends, and they were talking about this random meal that they used to have like when they were kids or something, like when times are tough.
Yes.
And it's like kitu mtakula na ishikilie tumbo.
Yes.
And they told me about it, and I was looking at them like, all of you are lying. And then they're like, oh, it's called, I don't know how to say it in Kikuyu, maybe Wangwe will help. Goja gutu, goja gutu. Something gutu. That's how it said. Yeah, okay. Kikuyu mwenye hajui kuongea Kikuyu, mtanisamea. So it's like sijui mara waru, then sijui unga ya ugali, then pia greens imewekwa hapo ndani, hadi njahe imewekwa hapo ndani. Yote inapigwa, inakuwa ugali. Niko tu, do you know, I did not believe them. I was away. I had to call my dad at like midnight. And I'm like, yo, nigga, you have to wake up for this. What the hell is this? He's like, yeah. I grew up eating this shit. I'm like
what?
Ati what?
What?
No, that has been the biggest. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa minishto yangu yote. I've never seen it yet, but even just the explanation of it, I'm like,
So I had a conversation about Ngoja Goto in season 1 of this podcast. I'll leave you a link in the description if you're wondering what is this thing, and you should go and listen to that conversation. It was quite hilarious, and it's a food. I will not slander it.
Are you sure we can call it food?
It's food.
Okay,
it's food. It's cooked.
Okay, yeah.
So But I will not slander it because there are people who actually really love it and still to this day make it.
Really?
Yes.
I'd be curious if someone who really knows how to make it would make it just for me to taste. Because in my mind, it does not.
It doesn't work.
It does not.
Apparently, it works and works very, very well. Surprisingly. So
Very
we shall
curious.
look. If you're here, you're listening to this, and you know how to make ngoja goto, please reach out to us. We are all very, very curious about how it tastes.
Amen.
Very
Amen.
curious. All right, and that's the end of this episode of the Matamu 2 podcast. We will be back when we are back. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much for joining us, Just Phyllis of PJ Relics.
Just Phyllis.
And everybody out there who's listening, keep an eye out for a new episode very soon. Okay, bye.
Bye.